An email from Wesley asks, I'm an aspiring writer. I've primarily been writing TV pilots. Features don't interest me as much, and I only have one in my stable. Should I actually attract interest from a manager due to a pilot I wrote, like through the blacklist or otherwise? What's next? Will representation then want a feature from me since it's so difficult to sell a pilot from a newbie? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, for those of us more interested in TV but aren't in a position to work our way up as PA, is continuing to write TV pilots in the hopes of breaking in a viable strategy. Really good question, with some not so easy answers. I'll get one major point out of the way first. It is extremely rare, almost impossible, for a new writer to sell a spec pilot. The few exceptions to that rule are almost always people who've made a name for themselves in other aspects of the entertainment industry, such as actors or producers. Unrepped writers shouldn't write spec pilots with the expectation of selling them. So let's say you write a great pilot and it lands on the desk of a manager interested in repping you. They are going to use that as a sample aimed at getting you hired on someone's writing staff. It used to be that you'd write a spec episode of an existing show, and the showrunners of another show would look at it to see how well you could mimic the voice of an established series. That's fallen by the wayside, and most head writers now want something that shows what kind of voice a prospective staff writer has. In any event, your manager's energies are going to be directed less towards selling your script and more towards leveraging that sample to get you a staff job. Now the other part of your question is, should I write a feature spec? That's really up to you. If you want to also pursue a feature career, nothing's stopping you. However, if your heart isn't in features, don't waste your time. Writing a feature spec just to have one feels like as fruitless an endeavor as it would be to write a slasher film just because you think it'll sell. In any event, I don't think it's likely your rep will push you to write a feature unless you show an interest in the field. A good rep will want you to develop your strengths. Hopefully, it'll be a partnership that will work out for you. Your final question: is writing pilots still a viable way to break in? I think it's the most likely way to break into a very difficult field. TV is a pretty hard field to break into even when you're in LA and have contacts. Breaking in at a distance is even harder. Your spec pilot will be your calling card though, and it might be worth it to try to make some short films or web content that also showcases your voice. Because every year, there are a few successes from that arena. If you have questions, leave them for me in comments. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you back here next week.